arrived in Tajikistan in mid-July, greeted by a relentless heatwave, 40 degrees Celsius and rising. Our strategy was simple: ride at dawn, hide in irrigation canals at midday, and wait for the sun to stop cooking our brains. The sheer calm border held us for 2 days. 2 days lost to bureaucracy and food poisoning. When we finally reclaimed our passports and the sun began to sink, we pushed on, drifting like ghosts through the desert, with the constant noise of overloaded trucks at our backs. Kunduz was a brutal contrast to everything we had seen so far, loud, intense, and chaotic, even just before midnight. Women appeared only sporadically, as movement beneath blue fabric. After a night in a hotel, we fought our way through local bureaucracy and set off again late in the afternoon, leaving the city's chaos behind, passing waving people and honking cars. We eventually found a quiet spot by a river to pitch our tents. We continued into Taka province, where flat river plains gave way to a dry, mountainous desert landscape. In every village, a Taliban checkpoint, each with its own rules, none aware of the others. Wherever we stopped, we were never alone for long. Near the city of Talukan, a flat tire turned into a self-made traffic jam. Within minutes, dozens of children surrounded us. A constant assault on the senses. No pause. As we crossed the border into Badakhshan province, the landscape shifted. The foothills of the Pamir rose in front of us, and for the first time temperatures finally dropped and became bearable. Soon after, we arrived in Faizabad, a city that seemed to have left the noise of the past few days behind. We took the opportunity for a shower and a proper bed, staying for a few days while the permit offices remained closed for a long weekend. To make up for the lost time, we took a taxi to Ishkashim. After one last night and even more bureaucracy, we were finally allowed to continue into the Wakhan Corridor. A strong tailwind pushed us up the narrow valley that stretches between the Pamir and the Hindu Kush. The landscape changed with every breath, green fields fading into grey desert, then back into oasis-like Waki villages, where it felt as if time had stood still. To reach the Great Pamir, we had to leave the Wakhan Valley and start the climb to the plateau, which lies at over 4,000 meters above sea level. Progress was slow, very slow. When we finally reached the Great Pamir, we were greeted by countless rivers, swollen and surging from the snowmelt of an unusually hot summer. The heat that had chased us was now melting the glaciers above, turning every stream into a freezing obstacle. We were now in Kyrgyz land, high in the Great Pamir. Following narrow trails across a vast, high-altitude plateau, we pushed deeper into the heart of the mountains. Finally, we found the Kyrgyz families that Alex and Ruben had met on prior expeditions.
Salam.
Salam.
چطور خوب است؟ بخیر است؟ جور بخیر خوب است؟ خوب است بخیر است؟ چطور خوب است بخیر است؟ کجا میری؟
For a few days, the journey stopped. We lived in the rhythm of the nomads, herding yaks, drinking tea, and letting the world below fade away. This is a world where comfort has no place, where life is reduced to the essentials, always in harmony with the nature around it. Leaving the Kyrgyz camp felt like leaving a sanctuary. From here, our only way back was over the Shower Pass, standing at 4,880 meters. It would become the hardest section of the entire journey. The route led us over loose rock, glaciers, and towering moraines. The air was thin, our steps short. Every meter a small battle against the altitude. Just before sunset, we finally reached the ridge, 4,880 meters above sea level. We carried the bikes a little further across the ice and made camp, high above, on the roof of the world. The descent became a maze. The path we followed ended in a steep canyon. We had taken a wrong turn, and our food rations were running completely empty.
So we have to split now. Ruben goes back to the village because we don't see a way out here with the bike, or we just don't know the way, because the way we have planned ended up in like a river and we cannot cross it over there. It's just too deep. So we go back 11 kilometers to the village, get some donkeys with food and the guide, obviously, and then getting back to here. You guys get the bikes up. We meet up on the hill tomorrow, hopefully.
So long story short, we got ourselves into quite some shit. We're going to have to find a way out. But we're on it. Should work out.
While Theo and Ruben searched for help, there was nothing to do but wait, our eyes constantly scanning the horizon for any sign of movement. Then, the next day, a break in the stillness. A line of small, dark shapes appeared in the distance. A donkey caravan. Theo and Ruben had found them. They returned with local herders who knew these mountains better than any map ever could. We loaded the donkeys with our heavy bags and Alex's bike, turning our dead weight into a manageable load. With the herders leading the way, the maze that had trapped us finally began to open up. Step by step, we were being led back to the Wakhan, and with it, back to civilization. From Ishkashim, we traded our bikes for a transport to Kabul, watching the peaks of the Pamir recede in the rearview mirror. There, in the noise of the capital, our journey finally came to an end.